This popcorn-style review contains scenes from another video. Aguu, Genius Dolls. This was an interesting series. The general premise is that the gods will bestow heroic spirits onto people, not like Fate series, but more like blessings or boons upon people when they're born. And it will create geniuses and give them amazing talents based on which god blessed them. But there is a group of people called the Tailors who will capture these people and will bind them to create these dolls that can be physically shrunken down and implanted into a person's body to give them the talents that the god had bestowed upon the person itself. And the reason this is considered evil is because they're physically taking a person and just torturing them to gain the talents for themselves. And these Aguu aren't just possessed by the Tailors, they can also be given to other people. And it's revealed very early into the show that a large group of influential and wealthy families possess various amounts of Aguu that they can just trade back and forth. So it's not one Aguu per god. A god can very clearly make as many as they fucking want. So it's rare, but it doesn't seem to be terribly rare, and it's mentioned that there's over 1,000, I think it was 1,024 types of Aguu. Anyway, so the main character doesn't know this at first, but then she quickly learns about it from an old man and his grandson, and finds out that her best friend is in possession of Aguu. I don't feel bad mentioning this. This shows up in like episode 1. And she ends up joining together with the old man and the grandson to basically free up the Aguu who are being tortured by the Tailors. Now, I've seen a lot of claims that this show has a bunch of plot holes, and most of the complaints I've seen about the plot holes in the show aren't actually plot holes. It's kind of like a beatless situation where it's like you just weren't paying enough attention or you weren't thinking about the subject hard enough to see that it totally makes sense. The exception of this is 3 times where, although I can justify certain plot twists, it actually feels like I have to justify it, which tells me that chances are the writers just fucked up. And you could say that 3 plot holes is a lot of plot holes comparatively, and I would say, you know what, fair enough. Where the show actually gets itself in deep water is it loves these plot twists constantly. I don't actually know how many plot twists are in this show, but the answer is a lot of them. And it keeps you on your toes, and it certainly kept me interested. That and the whole concept of the show, and I kind of like the aesthetic. I've heard some animation complaints. I've never really cared about animation, but anyway, what I will say about the biggest issue with Aguu for me isn't the plot twists or the plot holes. It's that the Tailors as villains are actually pretty interesting. So when you compare that to not the main character, but the old man and his grandson, the heroes come off really boring. So otherwise, I actually found Aguu to be pretty enjoyable. If they wanted to make a second season, and they totally could with that fucking cliffhanger they left on, I'd be down, even if no one else would be. Twitch and Discord in the description. I've been Sacrobolic, your envoy of hope. Bye-bye.